All right. Karl Marx is a very prominent figure in early sociology. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't really. The most I read about was the
bourgeois and proletariat?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't really remember reading too much about Marx.
Okay. He came up with one of the theories. What theory do you think Marx would have came up with if we're talking about bourgeois and proletariats? Conflict theory.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as we know, Marx from history was all about communism. So he came up with the idea that there was a need for communism because of the fact of conflict theory. In his opinion, conflict theory is the most true and the most accurate sociological theory. So we're talking about two different groups. We're talking about, this word. We're talking about the bourgeois, which is the upper class people, and then we're talking about the proletariats, which are the ones that work. Like they work in labor, they're either middle, more lower class.
See, I thought this whole time bourgeois was a person.
No.
Guess not.
It is a class.
Oh, okay.
It's just a fancy word for the upper class. So.
Because they're on top and everything, controlling society.
And so when we talk about the bourgeois and the proletariat, we're often talking about industrialism. So industrialism suggests that we had the bourgeois who were the ones that kind of owned the factories, and then the proletariats were the ones that were working in the factories. And as we know from the industrialist period, those were some pretty not great working conditions that the proletariat were in. So what would conflict theory argue? We've got poor working conditions, the bourgeois that are just bosses, and the proletariats that are working their butts off in bad conditions. What would conflict theory suggest is going to happen because of that?
The lower class people are going to try to come together and overtake them.
And the bourgeois is going to do what?
Shoot them back down.
Yep, perfect. So he said the only way to avoid this is if we go into communism, which has a lot of things about it that go into it. But the big one that he was talking about here was the economic determinism. Everybody is going to have the same amount of money. It doesn't matter if they're a doctor or a garbage man. Like, that's not going to work for people. We think that if we have better skills, we should get paid more. Mm-hmm. But Marx said, no. The whole way to wipe out conflict is if we're all the same. Which, of course, doesn't work.
No.
So that's Marx. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Any questions on it?
No.
Okay.